Hello YouTube, how the hell are you? My name's Vac, and we're here today to play some Marvel Strike Force. So we're just firing up the morning stream. I want to apologize, I'm a little late. We've had a lot of new expressed interest in the channel, and I've been kind of struggling to keep up with administrative stuff. I'm pretty good at Marvel Strike Force. I am new to being a streamer and a YouTuber, and I'm trying to teach myself new skills and get better at that. And we're working on it. I want to center this camera up a little better. Okay. So, let me just send out a couple. And we're working on it. I want to center it. I apologize for that. That should not have happened. So we're gonna, as I said, it's kind of a rough process still right now. I'm just happy we've managed to actually get overlays and things like that going on. The alerts seem to be working correctly. I'm pretty stoked about that. So I'm just going to take a quick copy pasta for the sake of my guild, the Mortytown Locos, the alliance that I run in Marvel Strike Force. All right, and one shout out in game, and then we're going to get right into the action here. So we're going to do all the basic stuff today. We're going to do arena. We're going to do challenges. We're going to do raids. Although I'm not going to do U7 on camera here. I'm going to get on later here and do U7 and make a video about my team, because I've been getting a lot of questions about that. So good morning, Gamer Real. Good evening to you, sir. I imagine you're overseas from me. Glad to see you here, sir, madam. I can't really tell your gender from that. So anyway, yeah. Let me let the Mortys know. I like to do this for two reasons. Number one, if they're not on Discord, they can see it and jump in here. And number two, you know, they'll know not to say anything foolish while I'm videoing them. Now, we're mostly covering the chat with the overlay here, and maybe you didn't see what I just typed at all, but I was thank you very much, gamer. I appreciate that, man. So I'm just trying to put my gameplay out there and share my thoughts on the game as best I can, and hopefully it's helpful and or entertaining to someone, right? And we've got a lot of new interest since yesterday, and I do appreciate that. I'll probably look for other forums and groups that maybe I can join and try to engage with. So it's first thing in the morning, and the first thing we do every morning is we buy 600 cores worth of energy. I'm a little late getting started today. I knocked out a few things off camera while I was fooling around this morning, doing some housework, and of course finishing off the war, which concluded a few hours ago, about an hour ago. So the first thing I want to do is I'm gonna jump in here, and I'm gonna see about using this basically at my point in the game. Where you're at, you know, it may be a different thing, but early on in the game, I spent all this energy I buy every morning. That has never changed. Every morning I buy 600 cores worth of energy, and I try to make 500 cores back in arena, and so 100 cores a day is really an investment I can manage without. That's nothing. That's a cup of coffee. So what I try to do is early on in the game, I focused on stars, right? I let the gear come from the orbs, just whatever came, and I focused on getting characters starred out, but not fully. I would stop at 6. That last 300 is a long, slow grind, and so any character that I can get shards out of orbs, I get them to 6 and I stop, and I let that set. I may come back when they're like almost done and try to farm them later, but I let that 300 just build up on its own through orbs, unless it's a character I absolutely have to have, and that means arena. But every other character, let that 7th star come as it may. And I just move on. So eventually I got my whole roster to 6 stars. And then I started going back through and getting the whole roster to 7 stars. And then it was like, okay, well, now I'm done. I max out new characters as quick as I can when I get them. And I just spend my gear on spend my energy mostly on T4 gear right now. So what we're mainly going to do here is we're going to try to get ready for the next phase of Dark Dimension 3. And what we really need, let's go straight to the store, in fact, before we spend our energy, because I need to look for bone marrow extract, which I am desperately short on. I'm going to need for Symbiote Spider-Man. So I'm going to grab what I need out of the store real quick and leave what I don't. And we're going to hope to see a bone marrow. And if we don't, not the end of the world, we'll move on. But hey, there's one. We'll take it. So I think one more and we can get another piece on Symbiote. And that's all we're doing. That's the slow, steady grind, man, that's going on right now. So good morning if you're just joining us. My name is Vac, and we're here playing some Marvel Strike Force. I'm a 2-year player. I run a guild called the Mortytown Locos. And I'm right at around 10.3 million collection power. And I'm probably what you'd call a whale. And yeah, this is just a stream about my gameplay. Just letting you see my daily routine, how I go about it. Now, right now, normally I just screen through all these orbs, but we're holding orbs for the upcoming event. So what we're mostly going to focus on here is supplies, which we've done that. We're going to grab some defense boosts. We're going to come to the raid, and we're going to definitely grabbing those health catalysts. T4 catalysts are what I live for these days. Let's see now. We don't need any of the characters out of this store, and we don't have enough for an orb. We did just conclude a war, which will give me hopefully some marrow. Hopefully some. Oh man, I was hoping that gold would be marrow on the right. That would have been sweet. Would have been sweet. But moving on. Moving on. The influx of marrow that I got from finishing those milestones for Unity, we're pretty appreciated. I needed that. All right, let's see now. We're gonna go ahead and grab the basic catalyst and refresh one. I'm not seeing what I want, but we're gonna again grab the basics, and that leaves me just enough. If I see one, I'll let's refresh one more time. Looking for bone marrow, and I got a couple of them. That's a win. That's a win. That might even be. Let's go now to the roster page and see if that'll let us get Symbiote Spider-Man an ability, and it will. So we're gonna do that. Fantastic. So that's one step closer to being ready for the city hero, or the city section of DD3. And we're going to do Dark Dimension 3 a little later in the stream here. Not long from now. I don't foresee this being a very long stream. You know, hopefully we can get all this knocked out in an hour, hour and a half. Especially with me going to be doing U7 off camera. So now that we got that took care of, let's get back to farming. So there's a number of other characters that I could consider taking to Dark Dimension with me that are easy to raise, like Deadpool or Punisher is a very real possibility. I only need 2 pieces of gear here to finish out Punisher. And I bought, man, I was really noobish when I bought when I bought those T4s. I need to put a T4 into his ultimate at some point, and we'll get back around to that. So yeah, I'm gonna punt to Punisher. If I get to the end of Cosmic and Symbiote's not done, then I'm gonna punt to Punisher as my one and only character. Maybe even Deadpool, and then after that maybe Ghost Rider if I can get the mini uniques. It's really gonna be determined a lot by whose mini uniques I can get. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to look for specifically stuff I know I need to farm. So going back up to Symbiote. We definitely need more polymers. So we're going to farm these nodes out. All right. And we definitely also need pretty good on the rest of that. You always end up needing more catalysts. I don't really need to farm Peter shards, and I'm not paying that 20 energy, so the one catalyst you always end up needing is, of course, the superior basics. So there's only 3 nodes for these, right? And you need 300 of them per piece of gear often. So what you really want to try to stay on top of them and farm them as much as possible. I buy them every time I see them. I know a lot of you are at the point in the game where right now you're looking at me and you're like, Vac, I got 3,000 of those. And I get it. But eventually you're going to progress to a point in the game where you're using them up at a pretty steady clip, and you're trying to level a lot of different characters and get wide for high-end war or high-end blitz. And they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone quick. So I typically like to farm these at least twice. So let's do that, and then we will come back later in the day and maybe farm some more of those polymers, right? But for now, this will get us a nice base. This will add to our ever so important inventory, which I wish I had a page where I could access that. That would be so sweet if I could just go look at my inventory, Scopely. Imagine that, an inventory page. Nobody's ever heard of that in a game. It would be like a thing no one's ever done before. Okay, I'm sorry. Getting into a little snippy humor. So we're done with that energy expenditure. And let's see here. Let's grab what we can from this. So we need arena challenges, raid, blitz, and donations. I'm going to do donations now on both tunes. And if you're new here, I do have a free-to-play account. I play concurrently off-screen, although I do swap back and forth as far as the camera view. Came up a little short yesterday. It was Saturday. People were doing things, and we got a guy right now that's having personal issues. So we're playing a man down. We're technically 2 men down. Would not get an inventory slot be nice? It'd just be helpful in planning your strategies. So next up would probably be the challenges, and I don't think I'm going to try to. There's only a couple left I need to advance, and I'm not going to worry about it today. A lot of stuff on my plate, and it's a pretty trivial amount of gold. But most of these we have to tier 12. Thank you. Another year of that, and we'll have ourselves an Elite Four. Some more of those superior basic catalysts, which we will gladly take. Tiny amount, but we will gladly take. All right. Arena Raid Blitz. So let's check on my arena, shall we? So I'm still at second. I didn't get hit all night. So basically, I could have guessed that was going to be lucky. Basically, the way arena goes, if you get number 1, it gives you credit for the whole daily that you need. You don't actually have to fight 2. If I were just to take number 1 right now, it would finish up my daily quest or mission or whatever you call it. But here's the way this typically works. Somebody will sit at number 1 all day, but they won't finish at number 1. Basically, in the last 10 minutes before the rewards are calculated, the top 5 all go to sniping each other. And it's kind of a shell game as to who's going to end up on top at the end of that. So what I try to do is I try to hit number 1 right about 6 minutes out and conclude with a minute left, which is just not enough time for anybody to beat me. Now, offenses rule the day right now. Offenses, I mean, there's nobody out there that doesn't have an offense that can't beat the best defenses. You may have to try twice, right? I mean, that's the worst. There's some defenses out there good enough that you may have to do it twice, but even most of those not. So it really, the parity at the top right now is fairly close. The three guys that are really doing the best are the guys with the three best Black Order teams. Lucky here is at 444. There's a guy named Unclouded who's in the 460 range. And then my team is just shy of 500K. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to forgo this for now for my own benefit. Because what happens to me every time that I sit at number 1 all day, it looks good, it feels nice. But then within the last few minutes, you're number 1. You can't attack. You have no control over anything, right? So in the last few minutes, somebody knocks you down. And somebody may knock you all the way down to number 6. And if I'm at number 2, all I lost was 50 cores, right? Less than $1, not that big a deal. But if I drop all the way to 6, well, now we're talking several hundred cores, and so it's a little more of a bigger deal. It's still not like a huge amount of money to me, but still, I try to, I want to be as efficient as possible. I want to finish as high as I can every day to keep my costs low in the game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let Lucky have number 1. And I'm not going to pursue my arena attacks. It's very rare that I get 5 in anymore. I would love it if I could get 5 in because that would be great for my World Warrior score. But beyond that, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to sit here at number 2, and right before the rewards are calculated, I'm going to try to snipe Lucky. So are other people. So it's just going to be a matter of getting in there. But even if I only concluded at number 2. I'm still making 450 cores, and that's a pretty good daily income. So that's what we're doing. I'm hedging my bets by sitting at 2. And if I'm lucky, the guy at 3, Unclouded, is going to hit me later this afternoon, and then he and I can trade back and forth. We'll trade 2 and 3 all day, and then we'll both try to get 1 at the end. And so that's good for me because that lets me spend up my 5 attacks. So what kind of milestones have we got? So hello and good morning if you're just joining us. My name is Vac. We're playing some Marvel Strike Force. We have concluded war for the morning. Spawn and Nate kicking my butt in World Warrior right now. See, if I could get those 5 arena attacks in. Not the end of the world, man. I like letting my Mortys shine, man. Those guys are both good players. They play a lot, and that's why we love having them here. So don't think I want to pick up any of the. I don't think these orbs count on the upcoming event. I'm gonna go ahead and grab them. Although, just as a general rule, we are saving orbs at the moment, as I think everybody should be, since we got that data mine. So, good morning if you're just joining us. My name is Vac. We're playing Marvel Strike Force. Come on in. Got any questions? Shoot them out. So I'm going to start up some raids, and I mean literally start up. I'm done. I've already cleared my lane on this Ultimus raid, and it doesn't start for another half an hour. It does look like we will have tickets, or keys, or whatever they call them. But right now what I'm going to do is start up another alpha raid for us, and we're going to roll through that real quick. So this guy, that's Baxos. That's my free-to-play account. So we're going to jump Baxos and Vac both into here. I'm going to send Baxos up the outside lane over here, which is the Cosmic lane. He has both a decent Asgard and a good BKT. And between the two of them, he'll be able to clear most of that lane. I personally am going to go down the global lane here. But I'm just going to, for one node, and then we're going to go take the city lane, basically. Because I like to, not everybody in my alliance has a good symbiote Spider-Verse, and that is just the best possible team to clear that lane. So rather than having some poor Morty have to struggle to get through that with defenders, I like to go that direction and take that lane myself. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Sander, and hello to you, Nick's Games. Come on in, make yourselves at home. We're playing some Marvel Strike Force. So this is going to be fairly pedantic here. My team's going to roll through this without much issue. This is a pretty good shield team I've put together here. I've raised both Coulson and Nick Fury to gear 14. And I really have no issues. This has been a great team throughout most of the life of the game, and I got no issues with them. Well, thank you very much, Nick's Games. I appreciate that, sir. We're pretty new. We're building. We're going to be doing 2 things on this live stream, which we're going to be live streaming daily, sometimes twice a day, sometimes just once. This is my morning stream, and tonight I'll be back for an evening stream. And we're going to do 2 things. We're going to grow this channel, and we're going to grow this beard, and both of them will be fantastic, I assure you. So just stick with me. I'm going to get a little better at the streaming thing as we go. I'm kind of new to this whole YouTuber thing, but I've been enjoying the little bit of it that I've been playing around with. Of course, the live stream is no skin off my back. I'm basically just pointing a camera at my daily playtime, and I don't mind answering questions. I got a lot of Mortys that are in various ranges of Marvel Strike Force advancement. We have people in our alliance that range from 2 million all the way up to 10. So we got a pretty nice spread of characters and tunes that are all, in different stages of advancement. I am certainly a bearded gamer. That is correct, sir. I had a really long beard prior to the COVID-19 outbreak. But now that I'm living in a COVID-19 world and it was apparent I was going to have to wear a mask every day, I went ahead and I trimmed it down. But my hope is that I can let it grow now, and before it becomes problematic, we'll have that issue solved. That's my hope. Here's hoping, probably will have to give it another trim because that's probably not going to happen until later next year. But, we'll see how it goes. For the now, I'm content to let it grow. It's past the itchy phase. When it starts to be a difficulty with my masks, I have to wear a mask at work every day. So when that becomes a difficulty, I'll think about shaving it down close again. I'm not going to shave it all together again. I went full smooth baby face over the quarantine, and I probably won't do that again. So we're going to go down here. We're going to grab my 397K Symbiote Spider-Verse. And these guys typically can handle this city lane with no problems. And we're going to try to knock this out of the way and make some advancement for the Mortytown Locos. So hello there if you're just joining us. See some people popping in. My name is Vac, and we're playing Marvel Strike Force today. As of this moment, we are rolling down the city lane on an alpha raid. Just trying to get our lane cleared out as best we can. Do our part for the guild. And get ourselves some rewards, right? It's always good. I don't really need a lot of character shards anymore, so this one's not as critical for me. But the gear pieces and other things I get are always worth it. So it's just this is a game about daily incremental progress. So these symbiotes are just some of the best sustain in the game. Them and Asgard, right? With symbiotes, it's mostly just when they're in raid, but they're a great team for this. So we got the whole gamut planned today. I need to get raids done. I'm going to skip the U7. It doesn't start up until a little later. I'm actually going to make a video about the team that I use because a lot of people have been asking me about it. And other than that, though, we still need to do some blitzing. We're going to have to do Dark Dimension 3. Take our lumps for the day. Hopefully make some progress on that node. And let's see what else we got going on. Just the basics. We're going to knock all our plays out for the morning, and we will be back, later this evening for a after dinner stream. So these nodes will start to get a little harder as we advance further into the raid, but for right now, meh. Gamer, I'm sorry, I missed your question. Let me get back to that. Yeah, as far as Yo-Yo in U7, especially if you're just talking about the basic U7, absolutely, she's still worth using. Because the enemies that you're fighting in Ultimus 7, they have massively inflated hit points and damage over a regular NPC. And that makes them harder. But they did not inflate their resistance for whatever reason, and I'm glad they did it. And so what that means is even if Yo-Yo is so low that she's not doing much damage, she's still going to land her passive offense down most of the time, which means she can essentially do her job and keep the team alive by cutting the enemy's damage in half. And so, yeah, she's still not going to be fantastic. She's not at her full potential, obviously. But she can often, if you give her some love, and any love you give her, even if you got her at low stars, is worth doing, because eventually you're going to get more stars on her, and she's an incredible character. So, yeah, give her some love, put some decent gear on her, level her up, and she'll do okay in U7 for you. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of nodes in there where it's just difficult for any tank to do the classic tank and spank, right? And the same thing for DD3, really, right? There's just a lot of nodes in there where nobody has the hit points to stand up to those guys, right? No tank in the game. I have gear tier 14, 100k tanks that are just folding underneath that kind of pressure in DD3. And so there's just no tank in the game that can stand up to some of these guys. In U7, yeah, there's some tanks that can, but Yo-Yo does a more effective job, because instead of just bringing all that damage onto themselves and using mitigation, personal mitigation like armor, she's just cutting everybody's damage in half. And when they have damage that high, that's a lot. That really helps. So yeah, I can't recommend Yo-Yo enough. So we pretty well look like we're in good shape on this. Let's just autoplay on Bullseye's head. There we go. And my rating on symbiotes from 1 to 10, I would say 10 in raids, 8 in blitz, 7 in war. Right around that range. They're a great team. And they got a lot to recommend them, especially in raid here, where they just have a ton of sustain and good and just good rhythm on them, as far as the way their abilities fire out. But for Dark Dimension, well, I'm not to that phase yet, actually. I'm on the last Cosmic, and I'm about to start City. And so I'm trying to get ready for the City phase of Dark Dimension. I did not use any of the symbiotes in the early game. I imagine they would have done fine. In the early portion of Dark Dimension 3, I used basically my arena team, because that's my North Star when it comes to team building, right? Like, where am I putting my points? I'm putting my points in arena. Whatever helps me keep getting 500 cores a day, that's where I'm putting my efforts. So yeah, I mean, symbiotes are great, and they'll do well in something like DD2 and DD3. Absolutely. In fact, I wished I had more symbiotes to gear tier 14. I'm kind of grinding my way through that right now. One can hope. So I have not personally tested them in DD3, but I will soon. At least Symbiote Spider-Man, I hope. I only need to do 2 more pieces of gear on him. And we're going to do Dark Dimension 3 a little later in the stream, pretty shortly, I think. So you'll get a good look at that. But yeah, no, I don't think you're, at this point in the game, you're not hurting yourself at all putting any kind of points into symbiotes. There may arguably be better choices, but on the whole, they're just a great team. And if you really love those characters, and I get it, people raise characters that they love. All I can do is just throw my best recommendations out there. There are way too many biotunes, that is a fact. But it's like that with all of them. It's just many uniques is just one of those gates they put in to slow you down a little bit, gauge your progress, and dangle a carrot for you to buy. And they get a few cores out of me on store refreshes because I'm looking for those damn bone marrow extracts that I need. I unfortunately, back during the Cosmic phase, I used a lot of the bone marrow extracts to raise up Corvus, and not really unfortunately, but I used my bone marrow to raise Corvus and Captain Marvel, both of whom are fantastic characters. Captain Marvel I had been using in Arena. Corvus I have since been using in Arena. And so, like I say, man, like even though there are better characters for Dark Dimension 3, Dark Dimension 3 in no way, shape, or form is more important than Arena to me. Like, not even close. Dark Dimension 3 isn't even fun. It's a daily chore that I have to do to get good rewards. And they're good rewards. I want the rewards. But much like Dark Dimension 2, it bores me to tears, and I can't wait to put it in my rearview mirror. I think it's lazy, terrible game design. That's clearly a game mode that was designed to say, oh, you want some new content? Well, here, try this. This will take you forever. You know, they're just buying time for themselves so they ain't got to work, right? That's my impression of it. Like, it's not fun. There's nothing entertaining about it. You know, you go do a little theory crafting and figure out a team that will work reasonably well. You go in there, you still get your teeth kicked in half the time. And it's just there like, hey, refresh, hey, buy some more, heal these guys, come on in again, just a little more progress, you can make it. It's a scam. It's shit. It's terrible, to be quite honest. But I want the rewards, and I'm still intent on playing the game because of modes like War and Versus Battle. Because I'm a PvP guy, and I really enjoy War a lot. And I would love to see, there's a guy in my alliance that talks about he would love to see a 1v1 war mode, and I think that would be incredible. I would play that all day, every day, man. If you just made like a 1v1 war with some matchmaking where you had an 18 defense and it lasted for 3-4 hours and first person to clear wins, like that would be cool, man. That would be like a versus battle that pitted your entire roster against each other, and that would be really wicked in my mind. So that's as far as we're going on this alpha raid. Sorry. That's as far as we're going in this alpha raid. And like I say, 10 minutes left on U7 there, and we've already finished our lane. There's nothing really to do there. I'm going to come back later, and I'm going to start from the beginning and just kind of go through my team, how and why I use them. Now, disclaimer that the team that I'm currently using in U7 may change when we jump up in difficulty, right? I don't think so, but maybe it's possible. I used to, like a lot of people, use teams that involve Scientist Supreme and Shuri together, and really kind of it was built around having some people die and coming back. And I still have a Minerva on my team in case that happens, but it's pretty rare with the team I'm running. So anyway, done with that raid, moving on. Still second in arena. Challenges are done. We can knock out a couple of blitzes. If there's any teams and I don't need this blitz, right? If there are, I have this character to 7 stars. So if there's any teams that anybody would like to see in specific, just let me know. We're just going to knock out a few to get my daily progress completed. So let's go up against like a fairly decent looking Kree team here. And I'll show you my Black Order. Okay, so let's make Minerva our central focus. Couple of basics from Thanos does her in. And this is a punch-up. This is a punch-up. This team is just so effective since the buff or the bug fixes. So effective. Alright, so we'll drain some health on them. We probably ought to play out from here. I mean, of course, any new addition to the game is effectively unnecessary. It's not really fixing any problems. So I have pretty much the same. My thoughts are not much different than most of the major streamers out there that I've been seeing. Essentially, I think it's cool that we'll be able to specialize characters in a certain way. You know, maybe you take your Captain America toward damage, maybe I take mine toward more defense. Not necessarily the best example, but that kind of personalization is cool. And so for me, it really just comes down to how do they monetize it? What does it take to get it? And how much time is it going to take to do it free to play? Right? These are the things that I don't know yet, and that's going to really have a lot to do with how I feel about it in the final analysis. So we'll see. We'll see. It's basically the jury's still out. So this is probably my second favorite or best team right now. We'll just take them up in a big punch up against. There's like 110k punch up against Pun Fenders. Inhumans is just so impressive. Black Bolt is godlike. Alright, so I typically like to focus Iron Fists when playing this team and try to overwhelm him before he can really get too much healing going on. We're going to use Karnak and spread slows around. Didn't land very well, but okay, we're punching up. Alright. That was good to get rid of Punisher. I'm going to slow the right side of the field. Didn't land very well also. But we'll be good because there's a lot of raw damage on this team. Particularly with Black Bolt. Alright, so we're going to try to disrupt Luke. Which that worked out okay. She's, of course. JJ is always a party pooper. But we still got plenty of AE damage to slap in there, and then Black Bolt should probably just about take this thing home. Yep. He's such a good character, guys. He's such a good character. So now we're just going to wear down Luke. We'll put that on autoplay and let them roll through him. So if anybody's got a specific team they would like to see, just throw it out there and I'll put it in the blitz for you. I've done my 2 that I absolutely have to do, but we can fight a few more. High scores don't really matter to me. We're in 8-3, so this is the toughest it's going to get. I wouldn't doubt if ISO 8 plays into future game modes. There's no doubt they're going to want to encourage us to participate. I mean, they're going to want to encourage us to pay, let alone participate. So let's see now. Let's go play with our pseudo X-Force. How about that? They don't do well in 8-3, and we're probably going to lose. But they have done pretty well in the past against defenders. That's not a great defenders hybrid, so let's see how they do. We'll see how they do. Okay, so once again, focus on Iron Fist. Get Danny out of here. A little slice and dice. That heal block was very useful. I'm going to drop the bomb with Negasonic. Oh, man, she did a good job landing all those heal blocks there, too. All right, and then hopefully we can finish off Iron Fist and charge up Cable. Fantastic. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take you to get him, Gamer. I mean, I don't think he'll have fallen off by the next go-round, no. I don't see Black Bolt falling off at all for a while, in fact. For a while. So thank you, Tigger Bounce. I see that we just got a new sub. Welcome to the family. So now that we have a charged up Cable, we can drop some of these buffs if we want, Or we can try. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to get Daredevil out of here. Nah, didn't quite do enough damage. Let's taunt JJ and kill her next. Before she starts passing more energy around. Little high-speed hacky sack. I love that animation, but it is pretty slow. We'll see if this finishes off red. It does not. So we'll just do it ourselves. Oh, nice dodge. Oh, he's still dodging. Okay. Little turn meter manipulation. Alright. Luke is going to demand attention. No, I think Black Bolt's going to be a good character in this game for some time to come. And Thomas, I'm mad at you for even saying DD4. Like, my God, don't even talk about that. Don't give anybody ideas. Every level of Dark Dimension gets more and more miserable and terrible to play. Like, don't even get the idea in their heads to make another one. Dark Dimension is trash. It is trash game modes with great rewards slapped onto them. Barring the first one, the rewards are not great for the first one. But you know, yeah, I only did DD2 because I really wanted Ultron. I mean, who doesn't need an Ultron, right? There was nothing fun about that. And I'm only doing DD3 because I want all those T4s and the upgrade tokens. So this is the Merc team that I run. I don't think they're gonna do 8-3 well. We can test out the symbiotes. They also are spotty at 8-3, but they can usually pull it off, particularly if you pick a team that's a little haphazard like this one. Okay. So a lot of good targets here, but we're going to go right at Mantis. Because the combination of Mantis and Hulk can be dangerous. You get Hulk lower than half health, he gets the free attack and the offense up, and then Mantis raises him above half health, and then you end up knocking him below half health again, and he gets another attack and more offense up, and so you just don't want to get into that chain. So let's spread all those beautiful, beautiful debuffs around and start killing these people. Alright. Try to blow Thanos up. Nice, nice. Alright, Heimdall, let's stun you, buddy. You just stay there for a second. Let's grab Spider-Man, use him as a bludgeon against everybody else. And that was your last attack, Hulk. I hope. All right. So did pretty well actually there. Did pretty well. Like I say, I throw them into 8-3 if I see a team that's kind of haphazard like that. Against meta teams, not so much. They can do pretty good against Asgardians, but not on like a big punch up. That's getting a little too much to ask. Really, even just a medium punch up. All right, so that's all the blitzing I'm going to get into then, barring any requests to see a team. We're going to, let's see, we got arena. That's really it as far as daily objectives. Finished up that U7 raid, so I'm ready for that. So Dark Dimension 3 time. Who's ready to go get our teeth kicked in? My daily dose of humility and pain, man. This is this is what keeps me from getting a big head. So we're almost halfway done with oh man. Stop it, Thomas. All right. So we're almost halfway done with this final cosmic node, and next we move on to the first city node over here. And we made some decent progress yesterday. This is the team I've been getting it done with for the most part, right? And this has been, we're trying to tank and spank because we don't have Yo-Yo now. And I feel like the symbiotes are going to do it way better than these guys. But still, between Minerva and Maw, we do have some pretty decent healing and mitigation. And sometimes it comes together, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so we put in a lot of good work on this node so far. I'm going to hold off on that. We're just going to throw some straight damage at Wanda. We are apparently in a bad spot on our ultimates. Look at Black Bolt just getting wrecked. We're in a bad spot on our abilities because I really could have used a taunt right off the bat there. We'll just go ahead and get what damage we can out of Black Bolt in case he dies. Yeah, we just lost Maw. We just lost Captain Marvel. We're going down fast. Mayday. Mayday. So actually we're down so many that I'm just going to call this attack a loss. And I'm going to hang on to her energy and let it build some more. So we're going to basic attack and get rid of Wanda. And then we're going to try to do the same over here to Doctor Strange. Look at Minerva go. She's an offensive juggernaut. So that was it. That was you know, like if you're a free-to-play player, that's it. You're done. That was it. That's going to be Dark Dimension 3 for like months for every free-to-play player. I know most free-to-play players aren't even in DD3 yet, but when they get here, they got a rough road to hoe. I don't think any of them are going to like it. I don't think any of them are going to like it because just to cut down on the amount of time this takes and will take, you know, plotting it out. I've been refreshing at least one every day to get 2 attacks in rather than just one. Thomas, you're killing me. Good morning, Phantom. How are you, sir? Welcome back to the stream. So I could swap in and save myself a few cores and swap in the power couple, but this is just the best 5 I have for Cosmic. And well, I'd like to say we're almost done, but we're probably still several days away from finishing this node. You know, like the 3rd node in the whole thing probably took me a month. Like it's just stupid how long this stuff takes. It's crazy is what it is. But it's pretty clear that they got tired of people bitching about there being no content, and they just put in a game mode that they knew was going to take the majority of us forever to finish. All right, so starting a little better this time. Oh no, Thomas, what have you started? All right, we're going to spread a little damage around here and see if we can't tank and spank on these guys. See if we'll hold up. Ooh, not looking good though. No, not looking good. No. All right, we'll get Thanos back out here and hope for a miracle recovery. I'm really going to need a heal out of Maw. Nobody else to attack. He's taunting. No help for Maw today. Maybe I should have brought in the power couple. This, though, Minerva is good in Dark Dimension 3 for the same reason that she was good in Dark Dimension 2. She does 10% of the enemy's health, and these enemies have massively inflated health bars. And so she does really big damage, better than anybody else, really. She's out damaging Black Bolt, I bet you, right here. And on top of that, you know, she heals the whole group nearly to full every time she uses that ability, right? So that's good progress, right? Like the first half of this whole game mode, I basically called it a win if I could get Phoenix dead and then keep her alive long enough to use her Dark Phoenix ultimate. That was a win for me, and I didn't do that every day. It was not possible to do it every day. So, you know, this looks like some good progress we've made today, actually, in comparison. Oh, yeah, Minerva, man, I mean, they all go down easy. Minerva will go down easy, too, right? And then once she's down, you're in trouble. But if you can feed her energy and keep her using her ultimate ability, she is absolutely viable. I mean, better than viable, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that 10% she did to every enemy on the board way outdamaged every other character I brought in there. So that got it down to right about half, right? Now we're at about half. So we'll call that good progress for the day, man. I've just been chipping away at this. I got no reason to get in a big rush right now because I don't have city characters ready yet. So I'll do one refresh a day, but I'm not spending cores to do two. It starts to get a little prohibitive on the cost after that. Let's see here. So now we got a lot to pick up in the store, but we're just hanging on to that. I don't think we should be picking up any of these orbs, right? I don't think, do these raid orbs count toward the upcoming event? Does anybody know? I don't think they do. We might could open these. We'll come back to that if anybody knows. So Blitz is done, DD's done. Just about wrapped up on it. Oh, look, we're cool, awesome, fantastic. So I'm betting you anything that Unclouded hit me in Arena. Yep, he did. So you got Lucky. These are the three big Black Order teams. They do count for it. Okay, Gamer, thank you very much. You might have saved me from a mistake there. Okay, so we're going to save all that. So these are the three biggest Black Order teams. Myself and these two gentlemen are the three biggest Black Order teams in my Arena shard. And are also, consequently, we are typically 1, 2, and 3. Although they got everything flipped on me right now. Because, you know, Lucky's 444, Unclouded's 454, I'm 490 something. So it's pretty close competition all around. All of us are able to beat the other's team. Nobody has a defense that can stand up to the offense of the Black Order, essentially. So let's get some hot Black Order on Black Order action going on before we get to the end of Mortytown TV for the morning. Okay, so I like to this basic hits 3 opponents. It's a fantastic basic. And so I want to hit the 3 squishies on the left side of his formation. So he's going to flip. Thomas. All right, so we're going to throw some offense downs around on everybody. Thankfully, that landed on Corvus. And he buffed up. That's perfect because I'm going to flip all those buffs on him. We'll buff who is not disrupted. And now we're going to flip. Now, you know, it's very important in a Black Order versus Black Order scenario. He who flips last flips best, right? Let them flip buffs first, and then you flip them all right back on them. And then he's got to wait for that ability to come back around, which is, what, 6 turns, right? So it's plenty of time to do some work. Most of those buffs will be gone by then. So hopefully Maw can survive the next little bit. And I think we may be able to finish off his tank right here with Corvus. Oh, the Death Proof saved him. Duh. There went his Corvus. We'll reapply Taunt. Oh, this moon's probably going to kill my Maw. And it did. It did. Okay. So he's still in this fight. We're 4 on 4. Now it's my turn to throw a moon. We're going to slow it down and enjoy this in all of its majesty. Have a nice day at the prison, Thomas, or wherever you're working at today. Okay, so now he's hitting me with that basic. Let's speed that back up. So now it's 4-on-2. Let's see what Corvus can do. Get the power couple going on the big guy there. Yeah, you know what? Let's just leave him sitting. We'll get him with splash damage. And this is pretty much wrapped up. These basics, by the way, with the power couple, with Proxima and Corvus, are fantastic if you max them out. They 100% assist each other. So it's like doubling the damage on that thing. It's just wonderful. Okay, so what I'm going to hope for is that Unclouded comes back later and hits me again, and I'll just trade back and forth with him the rest of the day. And then in the evening, right before I have dinner, I'm going to hit Lucky and get number 1 in Arena. Fingers crossed. Number 2 or number 3 at worst. We're all earning a lot of cores, the 3 of us. Every now and then somebody else will pop up in and compete with us for a day or two. But Sustain, those are the 3 guys. Sustain, those are the 3 guys. So let's see here. I think that U7 is really all I've got left. No orbs to open. Let's go ahead and spend that last 20 energy real quick, and we'll do it on we'll do it here on we'll spend the rest of the day working on some polymers. There we go. 25 out of 30, and we're going to need a lot more after that. So we made progress this morning. We got another piece of gear on Symbiote Spider-Man. We chewed some more health off of the DD3 node that we're working on. We finished up our raids, except for the U7, which I'll get at off camera. I'm going to take a film. I'm going to do a little filming and show off the team I'm using, just because a lot of people have been asking me about it, and just show exactly what it is I like about them. I'm not saying they're the best team out there. They may not be the best team just at the very next difficulty level. I haven't actually tested all of. I'm certainly not at U7-3, so you know we'll get there when we get there. But a lot of people have been asking me, so I'm going to make a video about my U7 team, just to put some more content out there on YouTube. The Sim Bros. So I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Thank you especially to Marius Barras for subbing just now. I'm glad to know that our alerts and notifications are all working fine. So we're going to shut down Mortytown TV for the morning. I will be back in just a little under 12 hours, about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about 10 hours from now, I'll be back. I got to go do some things and be a human for a little while, but not too much because I'm kind of quarantined. Long story. But anyway, that'll conclude Mortytown TV for the morning. Thank you everybody so much who's been riding along live with me here. I hope you've enjoyed the content that we've been doing today. And if you do, please think about maybe you giving me a like and a subscribe. Many of you have, and I sure appreciate you. It helps the channel. We're new, we're growing, we're trying to get out there. So thanks for coming. For those of you watching later on YouTube, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. That's awesome. And we'll see you again tonight. So until then, be cool. Keep gaming. Have fun. I'm Vac, and